If you are unprepared like me, whether you are a young professional, a student, or an entrepreneur, you may have made some hasty investments during the early days of the pandemic as you were setting up your work from home desk. The decisions were made somewhat impulsive and without much thorough research, which eventually led you to regret some of the things you bought in the process. If this resonates with you and you're looking for tips to avoid unwanted expenses for your desk setup, this video is for you. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Salman. I'm a tech product and innovation expert based out of Bangkok, and I'm currently in the middle of reinventing my life. In this channel, I talk about personal transformation, whether you're a university student or a young professional, and how you can accelerate your life for a better future. Usually I talk about personal development and professional careers so far, but today I'm launching my first new segment, which is tech review, being a tech savvy person that I am. But with the difference is that I'll be trying to talk more about from our everyday users like ourselves and how you can make the right decisions as you are reviewing and looking to make less bad choices in the process of buying the tech that you want to have for yourself. So with that, I'll put all the timestamp in the description below, so feel free to jump into whichever parts you want to start first. Let's dive into it. After spending over a year in the lockdown, I wanted to review the workstation that I ended up building over the years and find out the most efficient and comfortable budget setup that we can have that serves our purpose just right. You know, instead of wasting money over some fancy setup, which is not essential at all. So instead of doing the obvious, like going to YouTube and searching for a cool home office desk setup, feeling broke after watching for hours, seeing that you don't have the budget to build something similar, I want to do a little different by doing a research within my own network first. Hi, son. Actually calling you for a quick question. You're a pretty tech-savvy person, so I thought I'll be asking you to check in on this. So I'm trying to understand what, in your opinion, is a great price for a home office desk setup, and what are some of the key investments that you would consider making or you would advise someone to make while choosing to invest the money for their home office as they're trying to build during this pandemic?
Ideally, the chair is the main focus, because one person actually told me that if you don't invest on a good chair now, you will have to invest on a good back later on.
Hey Vad, what's up?
Hey Salman, bhai, kaun achen?
I'm good. Thanks for joining, man.
So again, this is a common interest between both of us that, we want to make the right purchases, and we want to be, with a setup that's both efficient as well as pretty fun to work around. If you're making your living using your computer, then this is an investment that you might want to make.
Yeah.
100,000 Bangladeshi taka, 130, 140, this should be in your budget. So that kind of brings our total to what? Around 150 to 200,000 taka, everything included.
Hey Salman bhai, কি খবর?
Hey Avik, কি অবস্থা? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So having validated a ballpark budget from real users, it's time to build my setup. Let's dive in. Oh, by the way, regardless of whatever fancy desk setup you have or you don't, we cannot get through the pandemic without maintaining a gratitude journal. I hope you're keeping yours too. So the first purchase I made right after the lockdown as I started working from home was this Dell 24-inch FHD Ultra Sharp IPS monitor. Since I was already using a 24-inch monitor coupled with my HP laptop before COVID in my office, I didn't really think this lockdown would go so long. So I went with the best 24-inch FHD monitor that I found in the market. This monitor cost me around $200. The image quality, brightness, color, and crispness are solid in this monitor, despite that it's entry level. It's also versatile as it allows you to move it in various directions and tilt as per your requirement. If you're a programmer or a data analyst and you need a bigger vertical screen, the monitor does it seamlessly. If you're a content creator, the color and the contrast of this IPS monitor are perfect from a budget range. Next is the computer itself. The machine that's driving this full setup is the latest M1 Mac Mini. I've been using MacBook Pro and MacBook Air since 2012, but this is the first Apple desktop setup that I'm using right now, and it's a beast. I'm sure you've seen a lot of reviews and comparisons of Mac Mini with other Mac products, so I won't go into details in this video. Still, if I can emphasize from my own experience having used it for the last couple of months, I think Mac Mini is a great investment whether you are a basic everyday user or a pro user doing heavy-duty 4K video editing and compositions kind of work. The price for the entry-level Mac Mini starts from $700 with an 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, 16-core neural engine, and 8 GB of unified memory. However, I upgraded my Mac Mini unified memory to 16 GB, which is the maximum memory Apple is currently offering in this device, and upgraded the SSD storage to 512 GB, costing me a total of USD 1100. The best thing about using a Mac Mini is that you are in full control of what additional accessories you will be using to suit your taste and requirement. If you're considering the same configuration I have on my Mac Mini from the latest Apple iMac, it's going to cost you around $1,900. The question remains, will the additional USD 800 worth of the iMac or your personalized and custom-built Mac Mini workstation is better off? I want to hear your thoughts, so go ahead and share your inputs in the comment section below and wait till the end for me to give you my verdict on the difference between the Mac Mini and the iMac. Now for the keyboard, I have finally upgraded from a temporary keyboard I bought out of impulse again during the early days of the pandemic to the stylish and highly functional keychron K1 mechanical keyboard, which is the 4th generation of its version. I have 3 devices that I use always: my Office Windows laptop, my iPad Pro, and my personal MacBook Air. I needed a keyboard that can wirelessly connect to all the 3 devices and I can switch without much friction. It's the thinnest mechanical keyboard from Keychron, and I'm using the red Gateron switches for a little quieter typing experience. I got the RGB backlit model, which allows 15 plus color presets of your choice if you want to adjust it to your mood when you work. This keyboard cost me USD 130 here in Thailand. This is a great price for me for a premium mechanical keyboard with all the functions that it offers. Although you have the option to get a much cheaper yet functional keyboard if you're on a tight budget. If you guys want a more in-depth review of this keyboard, let me know in the comment section below. Up next is the mouse. To solve the same multi-device connectivity and multifunctional capability issue, I went with the Logitech MX Master 3 mouse. This is a USD $100 wireless robust programmable mouse. I love the design and the color that go with my device's overall black and gray theme. This mouse connects up to 3 devices wirelessly as well, giving me the flexibility that I always wanted. If you're into editing, you can program this mouse and all of its buttons for your optimal experience. I also bought the Apple Magic Trackpad 2nd generation because having used the touchpad of my MacBook for all these years, I got very dependent on the touch interface. As I'm also learning to do editing work, the Magic Trackpad is a great companion to have. This USD 150 mouse alternative or an add-on to your setup is absolutely optional, so don't have to waste your money into this unless you really need it. Instead of experimenting with the unknown brands for the webcam, I ended up deciding to go with the Logitech C920 HD Pro webcam. This is a good-looking USD $62 HD webcam that also handles light sensitivity very well. The picture from this is decently sharp and bright always. You can either place it on the table or mount it on top of your monitor for the best viewing angle. Then I got this very cheap USB-C hub by this brand called Ugreen. I bought this from a local e-commerce Lazada as I wasn't sure if I'm really ready to spend a few $100s for a heavy-duty hub. My key requirements are HDMI, fast USB 3.0, and SD card reader, feature over USB-C connectivity. This one is working just fine. I got it at only $25. Since I also have 2 separate PCs that I connect my office laptop and my Mac Mini, I use this USD $10 basis 4K HDMI switcher that saves me and my HDMI ports from being abused multiple times in a day. I really didn't know of any better way to express this. One of the limitations of Mac Mini is that the built-in speaker is pretty shit. Apple should seriously do something about it. It's not an Apple standard sound delivery, period. They should use at least the spatial iPad Pro sound systems here for doing justice to this beautiful piece of tech. I don't play loud sound or music when I'm using my desktop setup, and I wanted to keep it frugal before I'm ready to invest in something better for sound systems. So instead of buying a new speaker, I paired my Bose SoundLink Mini 2 Special Edition with my Mac. This USD $180 Bluetooth portable speaker, even after 4 years now, is working like brand new, and it keeps my desk more minimal without the clutter that it would have created. Up next is the wireless charging dock. It's been years that I've been using USB cables for charging all my devices. The more devices I own, the more complicated my USB charging hub became. It's an absolute pain to manage all the rowdy wires, which also ruins the cleanliness that I want to maintain for my desk. So I got the Native Union Wireless XL charging dock, the Watch Edition, to power up the 3 most essential devices I have without any hassle. This again is an optional buy. You can easily replace this cost with a $20 USB hub that would power everything you need. For me, I need to connect my Apple Watch, my iPhone, and my AirPod Pro, which really is always on my desk, and I can always access them without any problems whatsoever. One very cheap yet simple accessory I got recently was this headphone holder for my Bose Quiet Comfort 35. This is an excellent noise cancelling headphone which I highly recommend for anyone looking for quality options. I placed the headphone holder on the blind side of the desk, making it hidden, but it's also just an arm's away for me to pick up and start using. This cost me just $5 from an online e-commerce store. Up next is also a very essential item, which is a desk lamp. For me, I went with a standing lamp. The location of my desk provides me an abundance of light during the day, all the way till sunset. But when it comes to working late in the evening, I prefer turning on this IKEA Nymain, I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly, standing LED lamp with wireless control. It has both warm yellow and bright white color spectrum that I can adjust based on my need. This also adds to the aesthetics of my overall desk while keeping it light, literally and figuratively. For the desk itself, I got the cheapest IKEA Linmola Dales 150 by 75 centimeter white table with this white color Alex drawer for hiding all the messes that I have on my tabletop from the world. This cost me a combined $125 for both the table and the drawer. I'm also using a super cheap, not ergonomically friendly chair from IKEA that I bought without much research, which by the way gives me a lot of pain. So I highly don't recommend you guys to go for it. So what I need is rather a recommendation from you guys, as I want to upgrade my chair really soon. Please let me know which ergonomic chair that's also budget friendly that you use and love for me to get for myself. And for the finishing touch, I have this family photo of my wife and our only child, Daphne the cat. Next to it, I have this $10 snake plant from IKEA, this dingbat notebook with an outline drawing system, pigment ink pen for doing my daily journals. And that brings me to the conclusion. Here's the total cost of my fully customized and budget-friendly minimalistic workstation setup. So for the monitor, I paid $200. For the Apple Mac Mini, it's USD $1,100. For the keychron K1 keyboard, it's USD $130. For Logitech mouse, it's the USD $100. For the Logitech webcam, it's the USD $60. For the Native Union wireless charger, it's the USD $150. For the Ugreen USB hub, it's $25. And for the bases HDMI switcher, it's only $10. So the total device setup cost me USD $1,775. And this to me is the main cost for this. In comparison, you'll have to pay $1,900 for no customization whatsoever for the same configuration if you want to buy yourself the new iMac with this configuration of my Mac Mini. And then comes the additional cost of the individual choice, whether you want to get a lamp or the table and the drawer and the chair and the plant. It purely depends on how much you want to spend, but I think I highly would recommend spending more on the chair and the table because it is extremely important for your back support and for your future cost and expenses that might happen because of bad posture. So the combined cost for all inclusive would come to around 2010 USD, which is the maximum budget required for maintaining and building a setup like this, which to me is a setup that you should be able to close your eyes and use for the next 2-3 years without having any hiccups. And that is my minimalistic, budget-friendly desk setup for you, whether you're a university student, young professional, content creator. I think this is a great investment for you that you can go on using for the next 2-3 years of your life without much hassle. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, smash that like button. If you didn't subscribe to my channel yet, please consider doing so. And I'll see you in the next video. Stay well, stay good. Bye-bye.